What's going on? It's Justeeni here. I decided to join the Ramdingler tournament because, of course, there's a Ramdingler tournament sponsored by the one and only Ramdingler, I'm pretty sure. The Ramdinglage tournament. There's going to be a lot of Rams, a lot of Dinglers, I think. At least I was promised that. What I do know is promised, though. We've got normal Pangea, best of 3, host skips turn 0, which is a pretty interesting rule. No tribe bans, everything's on the table. And yeah, things are going to get pretty interesting. So this first round, I actually have a pretty strong opponent, Caleb Norgard. Definitely no slouch. And yeah, let's get right into things. So first off, my tribe pick, yes, Luxador. This might be a bit self-explanatory. I'm hosting. I'm Luxador. That's all I need to say. All right. So I skip turn 0, and I have a lot of stars on hand. I miss my village, but that's fine. Watch this one. Watch this. This is why I picked Luxador. Mathematics. Pre-second city. What the heck? Name another tribe that can do that. Name another tribe that can do that. You can't. You can't. Luxador is cooking. But it's obviously not that easy. It's not like it's a free win, but that's a pretty cool trick, right? Like, it's really good for the content. That Explorer was kind of bad, at least for today's standards of Explorers. I do meet the opponent there. I skipped the ruin because I want to go for this village. Because if I get here like one turn later, they could deny it. So I want to try and get here, if possible, to make sure they don't deny me the village, because I want this village. It looks nice. I can always get the ruin later, but the village is kind of a get it now or never sort of thing. I chop, get another warrior. The opponent already has roads though, so it looks like there's a good chance I am not getting the village, even if I step on it now. I get a resource ruin though, very nice, and yep, sure enough, my suspicions are confirmed. I decided to walk on anyway, like, just in case. Like, he either has it or he doesn't. And I lose a warrior if he has it. And I have a plan if he gets the village, so that's kind of why I'm fine actually doing that. And you can maybe see where things are going, actually. I get my first giant, and the Park of Fortune goes in this city. What could I possibly be planning? They get a vet sword, so it looks like they're going to be able to get these nearby cities. Now, they don't try to take it immediately. Instead, they let me have the ruin, and they don't go in the city. I kill the rider, and this is why I was fine with them having the cities, because I'm going to border growth before they take it, but they don't even decide to take it in this case. I can get this nice free level 3 thanks to the border growth giving me the lumber hut there. Their vet swords being mean, but they still can't get the city yet. I'm denying 2 cities with warriors alone, and I'm walking towards this city with the vet sword. Hopefully I can grab it. It's a pretty good chance that I do grab it because all their cities seem to be up north. I get another giant. Hopefully I can steal these cities maybe, even if I can just stall for long enough, but unfortunately, wisely putting this vet sword in the way. This is the big problem with trying to use warriors to deny cities. They work until they don't. Basically, as soon as unit blocking is involved, and now it's completely impossible for me to take this rider off. And I'm looking to take the city though, and I have the giant marching towards the city. They need to grab farming in addition to their roads and everything to actually keep the city. And even if they do, they still need a monument, so of course I'm going to attack. Now they get a workshop there, they probably already have good vision, and they don't deny me this city. So I'm actually going to be sitting on 5 cities, and I have this catapult here as well because I'm expecting they either have the giant push or I get the city. And either way, the catapult's going to be pretty good. It's like either targeting this vet sword, or it's stopping them from sieging me, because then I just shoot their unit and it dies. That's what happens. I do a lovely little giant push here, you know, because I'm that guy. Walk the giant in, push it on my own city to get it in the action, maybe taking this city sooner, or pressuring this city. Who knows? And I take that southern city. The opponent's going to be able to unsiege. No problem. Taking the mountain ruin as well. Fair play. I just wanted to deny them income. And there's the giant. Not waiting for me to siege, he wants the eco. And there's another vet sword. Now, climbing. I'm walking in with the giants. And I'm developing this city. It's got a nice sawmill spot. Can't use it right now, but next turn. And the opponent's just saying, siege my city. I'm just going to take out your giant. Walking out of the catapult range, very smart. And it's definitely easier said than done. I had kind of this momentum here with the giants, but it looks like it's kind of dying out. But it's not over yet. Because what I have going for me is another border growth. Just taking up a ton of space. There we go. Second giant, or not second giant, it's my fourth giant. I've gotten a lot of giants. The opponent has their second giant. Vet Rider walking in, being annoying, trying to distract my catapults. Now, unfortunately, I don't care. Now, the reason why I don't hit their giant, and instead I hit the Vet Sword, is because these Vet Swords become a lot weaker than hitting the giant. Not only do you deal 1 more damage to the Vet Sword, 10 versus 9, because giant has more defense, but also a Vet Sword with 50% HP is going to be a lot less effective than a giant with 80-something% of its HP. I can't do math. I think 80. I don't know. Someone in the comments will put it in a calculator and give me the exact number. But yeah, I'm stepping on the city and they're not doing much about it. I'm pressuring. I really wanted to siege. I'm trying to just chip away, and I take out the Vet Sword with the giant. They heal it, but that's not enough. It's gone, and I hit this Vet Sword. Same reason as last time. And I'm kind of cooking. Now I get roads pre-cap, setting up for trade, and using the roads for attacking. Roads are pretty good. Now the Explorer gets me a lot of vision. In fact, it actually allows me to see all their cities. The camera moves to the capital. Thank you, Midgewan. Can they unsiege though? Oh my goodness, just barely. They just barely unsiege. Well, thank goodness I have a second giant. Okay, and then they start sacrificing their units into the second giant. That's smart. But can they unsiege? Because I'm actually straight up taking out their giant. They have to do it with just brute forcing. And if they don't unsiege, like, there's no way they're getting... Like, they would have to get, like, construction and gate of power. There's no way they can afford that. I get another catapult. Just to defend in case they counter siege with the giant. And then they sack more units. Wait, can they unsiege again? That's right. They brute force twice to unsiege. And then they start spamming knights. Which is a little problematic because I just made a catapult here because I was expecting to take the city and then deal with the giant afterwards. No, I didn't actually take the city. Okay. Well, at least I can weaken this giant a ton because it walked too close. I'll need to steer clear of the knight though. Upgrading my city some more, getting the giant on my capital. I do have Grand Bazaar now, because I'm on 6 cities actually. Surprisingly, we're both tied in city count. I managed to win this neutral village in the end. The opponent's stacking a lot of knights, which is a little concerning. And I've got catapults, which don't do well against knights. I go for mining. I was thinking about trade, but I decided to go for mining first to get the giant and the border growth before then, especially since I wanted to do this sneaky little play, deny some income. I wanted to do that first. I am planning on getting markets, don't worry. But they are planning on destroying my giants. They kind of need to. They chain through some catapults, they chain through some more. They're like totally ripping through this side of the map, chaining through here, pressuring everywhere once. It looks really scary, but I'm sieging them back. Things are going to get a little messy, a little bit chaotic, but I get a Vet Rider, and I'm actually just holding off against these knights. I get another giant. I get a warrior down here, and okay, they have to unsiege again. There's no way they unsiege again. They don't have any units. Except they do. They barely unsiege for a third time. They barely had it. But once again, they have like barely any units. And this is looking really good for me, except for this giant siege, except I have the unsiege by fishing, so I'm actually not worried at all. I go for trade because I can afford to do that. And if you can afford to do it, why not do it? Okay, they weaken my giant. Not going for the siege because it's obviously a trap. I'm gonna Houdini them. I tried to go for another siege and it just didn't work. Okay, but surely this time. There we go, another siege. If they somehow break the siege, I go for Smithery too, just because they're spamming so many knights. I just want to get swords to just trade against those. And yeah, it's rare that you see Smithery for swords, but yes, that's actually what I'm doing here. There's no way they unsiege again. Except they do. With a 1 HP knight, they unsiege. That's the 4th time, I'm pretty sure, that they've barely unsieged my giant. Like they brute forced through it every time. They were somehow able to afford all that. It just barely survived. Now I actually use Smithery to get a forge there too, which is pretty neato. Another market. The opponent's very much struggling to hang on, especially since I kept sieging them. Another chain. Doesn't give them a vet knight though. And at this point they're just toast. Not only am I sieging, but there's gonna be way too much pressure in the coming turns. So they resign. Very well fought by the opponent though, oh my goodness. Like, geez Louise. That was surprisingly hard to win. But this is a best of 3, so I'll go ahead and cut to the next match. Alright, so once again, all the tribes on the table, I decided to go with Yadak. And while I was score counting at the beginning, I noticed they had 620 points, which means they're either Hudrik or Quetzali. And I thought, oh, Hudrik of course. They're playing Hudrik. Because they want to use Hudrik as a turn 0 tribe, and then get a really early Forestry Math, kind of like what I did with Luxador, but with Hudrik, which arguably might be better. Who knows? But yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to out-expand them like crazy, and the city's looking really good for potentially going archery. So things are looking pretty nice so far. I mean, I would rather have 2 fruit here, but I can't complain too much. I miss my 3rd city, so maybe I can complain a little bit, but, you know. Except I see Quetzali terrain. This completely caught me off guard. What is this doing here? I thought they were Hudrik. No, they're not Hudrik. They're Quetzali. Why are they Quetzali? They just are. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why they picked Quetzali, but I mean, you'll see it's not actually a bad choice. Like, Quetzali underrated? Question mark, question mark, question mark. New video dropping? I don't know. But they already have riding and riders because they played Quetzali like a turn 0 tribe. I decided to go for this rune. I know that they have 2 riders. I decided to step on the village anyway, which might have been a mistake. I don't recall the exact idea. But I don't know. Maybe just live game mode, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking actually, because I actually need this warrior. However, yeah. They step on the rune though, so they make a mistake right back. Because now, I can steal that from them. I get a strategy rune over here. And I am going to steal this rune. I hit this defender, very important. Now if I had an extra warrior, this would be even easier to attempt to siege, but I think you guys know where this is going. They move the rider away. I guess one plus side of sacrificing the warrior earlier is that this rider is at 5 HP. But obviously, like, that doesn't mean that the play that I made was good. It just happened to work out this way. And I go ahead and siege like this. Take this out, not taking the rune immediately. Alright, if you have roads, you unsiege, but, like, it's super expensive. You need 3 roads to unsiege. Good luck. And then I just start developing. And they don't have it. They don't have 3 roads. They have more riders though, but now I have riders. And we're chilling, getting a defender. Asiatic against Quetzali. Smartly not going for the siege, it's too low level. I get farming rune, which is very nice. Getting some very interesting techs from these ruins. Train some more defenders. Workshop the city that I just took from them. And they decided to just go forestry, and I'm kind of a little worried. So I start expanding. I'm suspecting, well, they're probably not going for roads, they just went forestry. I go for the wall here, because I'm expecting they're about to get a bunch of giants, and defenders with city walls are quite good. So I decide, yeah, let's just do it. This is a very, like, vulnerable city. It's the most vulnerable city I have, so yeah, let's just make it impossible for them to target, basically. Screw you. And I just start walking these defenders up. I grab climbing to continue to walk defenders up, and for the siege, to be cheeky. Was it worth buying climbing for that? Maybe, probably not. Honestly, again, I think that was another live game in my mind. I'm like, ooh, siege. I didn't actually calculate it down and be like, yeah, I probably lost down too much eco and they killed the unit. I guess I had a rider there. It's hard to tell, but I don't think it was actually worth it. They go for a border growth here, and because they have math, the neurons in my brain start firing, and I'm like, is it Ooga Booga time? It might be Ooga Booga time. No, not this turn, of course, because I can't afford it. And if you guys don't know what I mean by Ooga Booga, you're about to see what I mean. Even longtime viewers might not know what I mean. There's another giant. More development. Things are looking very juicy. For Yadek diplomacy. Against Quetzali, mind you. What the heck? Crazy plot twist, nobody could have seen it coming. There's another giant, making that target extra juicy. Just downright delicious, I might even say. I decide to pressure this giant, so if they keep it here to block the cloak, it's dead. Just gone forever. So, yeah, they have to move the giant. The giant push there. I don't know why they let themselves get sieged. Just a giant push, like, they just lost eco for a turn. I don't know, I think that was a misplay. But now I can start hitting with the cloaks. They're trying to block the dagger spawns, but because they border growth their city, they can't do that. Now I'm just upgrading. I have hunting, looking for archery, since I need it for the cloaks anyway, and to poke at the giants. They're using a bunch of catapults. They're going to defend that way. And this is really interesting how they defend this. Another giant. They've got 5 giants. Crazy stuff. I'm just walking in with more defenders, being super annoying. More destruction and chaos. Archery now. Slamming down the cloak. But you can see they blocked all their dagger spawns in the back to keep their catapults safe. So the opponent, despite getting obliterated by cloak chains, is actually doing pretty well. They're still surviving, and they have a bunch of giants to one-shot all the daggers and the catapults as well. And they go for markets. Boom, level 8 market. Crazy stuff. Another cloak hits. Getting another cloak ready. Another sneaky cloak. Going for this city now. If they have too many things to deal with, they can't defend at all. And also, every time I hit them with a cloak, I'm just making money. So it's like, why not? And then more cloaks. But they have the markets, which are going to offset the damage from the cloaks because markets are very strong. So I don't have all the time in the world. Eventually the opponent is going to get knights, and once they are able to defend my cloaks, then I should get worried. And they're going to have enough eco to actually get knights in just a couple turns. Now, right now, the daggers are chipping away, being dangerous, but they're not dangerous enough, so I'm starting to get a little worried. I go construction. Now, this looks a little weird. But there's a few reasons behind it. First off, gets more giants. If they get knights, I'm not getting chained nearly as easily. Second off, it's more economy. I actually still need more eco, despite the cloak chains. Third, it's setting up trade if I, for some reason, need to do that. If I lose, like, my cloak chains, and they have markets and I don't, I lose on the spot, so I don't want that to happen. This, like, construction's basically just a really safe play here, without being, like, overly safe, to the point where I might lose the game. Like, it's kind of a bit of an insurance. And yeah, the giants will be helpful for breaking through the opposing giants as well. Their giants are already getting shredded. They only have 3 giants now. And I'm growing my eco. I'm going to be able to get more giants, which is why I got construction. Number go up. Hooray, more cloaks. What a beautiful sight. So many units. This is why I'm worried about knights, and there the knights are. I actually expected they would pop up a turn earlier, but fortunately, only now they pop up. And I'm going to try to play around any and all chains to the best of my ability. And I get another giant. Now you might notice there is actually one chain that I missed. So, yeah. I played around chains here. There aren't any chains here. However, there is a chain up here. And Youchies. 9 kills. They accidentally forget the vet before hitting the giant. I'm pretty sure they thought it would survive. Unfortunately, it doesn't. So at least a bit of a silver lining for me. They don't vet assign, or they don't vet correctly. But they still just chain 9 of my units, which was mildly inconvenient. If only I could spam several units a turn. Yeah, I just got cloaked and it like barely phased me. And now I have a knight. And they have to play around chains while defending all these daggers. And this time I didn't give them as good of a chain. They do still have a chain, but it's a chain of 3. They could have made it 4 if they like get the daggers well. That's like not nearly as bad as that 9 chain. And they didn't play around this chain. Apparently they just forgot the knight was there. And then their army gets chained. They resign. And I 2-0 first round against a pretty solid player as well. So I'm very happy with how that went. Both games pretty intense, going past turn 20, but we take those. We win these, as they say. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub, and have a good one.